First, I want us to move forward so that we leave the seats behind for those who are coming late. I know doctors are busy. Some of them, even on the day that Jesus Christ is being crucified, they are still working. Most will be coming in later in the evening, but that does not prevent us from doing what brought us here. What brought us here is to take stock of the past 365 days since the last AGM, as we prepare for ADC that will be there in Coast Branch. I know there's a part of us that are joining virtually. I hope the link has been shared to all our WhatsApp groups. We are techno-savvy. This is AI in medicine and in unionism. But you know, utamu wa unionism is being present. Those of us from Kisi who attended our protest, you remember the sweetness of the smell of sweat, the sweetness of sweat hanging on the back, on your, on your clothes, on your back, running from police, running from police, and running after police. That is the sweetness of physically being there for union issues. So without, I'm seeing this side. My friends, why don't we just move a bit forward? There's a space here. Tujaze hapa mbele, wale wamechelewa watakuja watakaa kule nyuma. Wewe unaangalia nyuma and you you know you are at the back. If you look back, you don't see anyone. So I want to invite one of us who is to open for us with a word of prayer, and we'll get straight into business for today. A volunteer for a word of prayer. A volunteer? Yes, my friend. Thank you. Yes. I saw you volunteer. That's great.
Okay, let us believe and pray. Almighty Father, we thank you for this great day you have brought us all the way up to now, Lord. We thank you, Lord, as we commence this annual general meeting, Lord. We pray that you bless it and be successful. Lord, we also thank all those who have come all the way up to here. Lord, open their way as they attend this annual general meeting. Lord, let them get whatever that's going to be discussed, Lord. And at the end of this meeting, Lord, we also pray that you open their way so that they travel back to their places of residence safely. In the name of Jesus, we pray and believe.
Straight to the Lord's ears, I'm sure about that. With that, I want to officially welcome members of Nyanza branch to this 28th Annual General Meeting 2025, April, Friday the 19th. Sorry, Saturday the 19th. On this day, Jesus is in the tomb. And for those of us who are Catholics or staunch Christians, we celebrate with you. I am told that Christians celebrate the death of Jesus Christ, and therefore we celebrate with you. Nyanza branch is one of the 10 branches of KMPDU that represents Kisumu, who is our host today. And the CLO for Kisumu is here, Dr. Lucy Omog. I think she will also give some words, and she should also prepare for our vote of thanks as a host. Kisi, that is represented by Dr. Saringi, who is also here. Today she has the privilege of being hosted. She is not in any hassle. Nyanza branch also has Nyamira County. I know the CLO is on his way. Homa Bay County, the CLO also on his way, though he had a bit of an urgent matter that came up, and therefore requested that you allow him to be in this meeting a bit late. Sierra County, we have our representative here, Caleb Okot, thank you. I also saw Dr. Ogoti is our former CLO, a colleague and a friend. We also have Migori County that is represented by the indefatigable Dr. Korondo, whom we share a history in our formative undergraduate years. All these people will speak to us, will listen to us as we give feedback on how KMPDU or Nyanza branch has handled our issues of welfare for the past 365 years. We also have our treasurer who will be giving his report, or our report for the branch. He will also critique how our resources have been used prudently or otherwise. We have our secretary who will give us an in-depth view into the happenings of KMPDU these 365 days. You know, sometimes when you're in Kisumu and you call, let's say you call Dr. Sandy about an issue, you know, sometimes people might feel like nothing is happening in the branch, and yet at that moment we are in the middle, in the thick of things, maybe in Migori County. So today we'll have an overview, an account bit by bit of what has been happening for the past 365 days and what we plan in the near future. I will go straight to the chairman's address. So, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues, distinguished guests, our sponsors, though this address might not be really to you, but I know your interest, very close to your heart, needs to be taken care of. We will also organize for that. I express my heartfelt greetings and respect to each and every one of you who is a dedicated practitioner in this noble profession. Born with a vision of inimitable platform for the medical profession in Kenya, KMPDU Nyanza has endeavored to continually foster a representation that is inclusive and that empowers the medical fraternity in Nyanza and Kenya as a whole. And let me tell you, guys, despite this odd number that we're seeing here, Nyanza branch is actually one of the counties that people look up to when it comes to representation, empowerment, and inclusivity. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to address you today at the KMPDU Nyanza Annual General Meeting. As we gather to reflect on the past year, it is crucial to acknowledge our wins, to confront our challenges, and look forward to the future with a clear vision of the welfare of our doctors. This is a war that never ends. Unionism does not end. There is no win in unionism. With finality, what happens is every single day we surmount a mountain and come face to face with a new mountain to scale. In the past 1 year, we have witnessed significant strides for our branch. We have successfully negotiated better working conditions, resulting in improved facilities, resources, and welfare for our members across different healthcare institutions in Nyanza as a whole. Promotion of our members, although still facing hurdles, has seen progress thanks to persistent advocacy and negotiations with county governments, especially Kisii County, Nyamira County, Migori County, and Sierra County. And the members are here to bear witness of the results of these efforts. We have also strengthened our unity and collective voice, which has been instrumental in ensuring that our demands are heard and addressed. Our participation in national health fora and policy-making discussions has increased, allowing us to influence discussions and decisions that directly affect and impact on our profession and the quality of healthcare in this region. I want to tell you more solemnly that in the recent past, whenever there is an issue touching on health, KMPDU has been at the forefront to give its opinion that comes directly from the members, and also increasingly we have been invited to give our professional opinions to policymakers. And that for us is a good thing, because it means we are on the table and not under the table scrambling for our challenges. The journey, however, has not been without bottlenecks. The implementation of the return to work formula remains the proverbial thorn in our flesh, with delays in promotions and redesignation causing anguish and frustration among our members, especially our hosts. The unprecedented financial constraints faced by our county governments have also impeded timely fulfillment of agreements placing under strain our healthcare professionals' morale. Moreover, recent tragic demise of our colleagues that has been precedented by workload, that has been precedented by pressure, societal pressure, highlights the persistent issues within our healthcare system that we need addressed as a matter of urgency. Incidences of drug abuse, incidences of hospitalization because of mental health issues underscore the need for systemic reforms and greater accountability from our health administration. We look for the future, we look ahead, and we are committed to continue fighting for our doctors, even when our senior gives up on us. For those of you who do a bit of poetry, one of my favorite poets is Rudyard Kipling, and the whole poem of If is like an anthem to KMPDU Nyanza, that even if our senior wears out, even if NEVs use laws to make us trip on our feet and fall, we will still gather our worn out tools and we will rebuild. A promise that this group of leaders give to you despite the numerous challenges that we face as young, energetic, professional leaders. In the ever-changing world, the healthcare landscape continues to challenge, but the vantage positioning, concerted advocacy, and continued mobilization, we remain optimistic that our profession and the upcoming generation shall prevail. We endeavor to launch a wellness program in the whole branch and a mentorship manual that eventually will give birth to a mentorship program for the whole branch in the coming year. Additionally, we will continue to advocate for improved healthcare infrastructure, resources, and ensuring that our doctors have the tools and the environment they need to provide the highest standard of care to their patients. In conclusion, while we have made significant strides, our journey is far from over. It is through unwavering unity and dedication that we will overcome these challenges and achieve our goals. Let us remain steadfast, members, in our mission to uplift and support one another, ensuring that the welfare of doctors remains at the forefront of our agenda. We cannot overcome our collective challenges without you, the members. Therefore, I humbly invite you to join KMPDU Nyanza as part of a vibrant community. You will contribute to the collective effort of shaping a future for the medical practice defined by fairness, growth, and job satisfaction. Thank you for your continued support. Together, we build a brighter and healthier future for all. Welcome to Kisumu. Thank you. So I will be your MC. Unfortunately, you're the kazi ya chair. I'll be your MC. I want us to appreciate, we have already had tea, so we will not have tea again. Excuse the program. I would want us to invite, in the next 10 minutes, I would want us to invite ICA Lion, who are our partners for today. We really thank them for honoring our call for partnership and sponsorship. We hope that this partnership will give back to something great. Thank you. ICA Lion. And then as ICA Lion is preparing, I would want our secretary to prepare his report, and the treasurer will follow in tandem, and then we will have an open forum. The open forum will be first to address our return to work formula that we had after the national strike in 2024. We will also want to address individual county issues, and at the tail end of the members' open discussion, we will want to come up with resolutions for this particular AGM as Nyanza branch that will be submitted at the ABC in Mombasa. In fact, I want to suggest to our secretary that the members who are here are the ones who have qualified to go to ABC. Those whose names are on that list and are waiting to go to ABC, ole wao. I think I will stand with that. We will take the stones and sticks for making that hard decision. This is 26. Why don't we have this list as the people who are representing us for ABC? Thank you. I want to invite ICA Lion. You have a presentation? You have a presentation? Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
It's not easy to stand before doctors and start talking about something that might be different from the normal medicine that we take. And I know it's not going to be easy, particularly after a heavy breakfast or something like a 10 o'clock tea, but I will try. So before we start, allow me to just invite my colleagues up front so that they may also introduce themselves first. So my colleagues from ICA Lion, please make it to the front so that you can introduce yourself.
evening. Yes, I'm called Nancy Omolo from ICLI. Thank you.
Good evening, doctors. It's a pleasure to be here this evening to engage with you about what we do, which is majorly protecting lives and trying to secure something for the future. I am Brenda Akoth. I also work for ICLI.
Good evening, doctors. Sorry, I have a hearing problem, but I hope you'll get it. My name is Gideon Amimo, and it is my pleasure to meet you. And what I want to tell you, I'm new in ICA, but I saw that even in last year we had some element of partnership with you, and I just want to say that this thing will run. We are becoming friends. This partnership, we are looking forward to hold it year in, year out, so that we see how we can always progress our relationship. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my colleagues. My name is Polycarp Odhiambo Okura, but for today, I'll also be one of you, so you can call me Dr. Polycarp. I know the reason why, and I'll be able to explain this as time goes. Even if I've never held that machine with a very difficult name to pronounce, I don't want to bite my lips. So allow me you can refer to me as Dr. Polycarp for today, and you'll be able to know the reason. Now, first of all, ICA Lion, I'll tell you a brief about ICA Lion. ICA Lion is a company that was started in 1974. So it's a company that has survived all these years. The ICEA means Insurance Company of East Africa. And in 2012, ICA merged with Lion, I think because they wanted to manage the jungle together. So they became ICA Lion. So that is how we are. This is a company that lives by the true name. It's a real lion in the sector. It is the topmost insurance company in terms of profitability and financial prudence. And as a result, it is the only company that has been given a AAA rating in the country. AAA meaning we are actually rated above where we are. Who knows the rating of Kenya? The financial rating of Kenya. Somebody who can try. B? So somebody is saying B+. Boy, yenye iko na msalaba. Na sisi tuko AAA. Tuko chanya A. Kwa wale ambao wanajua Kiswahili. So inamaanisha by the time we go down, Kenya will have gone down. So you are safe with us, and for any other reason, it is good to have a partnership with us. Now, I know my colleague has alluded to the partnership that we have, which is evident, but what brought me here is to talk more about the things we offer. Insurance is broadly categorized in three. The first category is the general insurance. That is where we insure things like property, things like motor vehicles, like this building is insured. And of course, for doctors, the interest would be machinery, even your vehicles. I know some of you are insured with ICA, and most importantly, professional indemnity, or what we call PI. I know all of us have professional indemnity at one point or the other. And I know that what is offered in the industry could be cutting across. But the most important thing comes when you're processing claims, isn't it? When you're establishing a relationship with a company, it's easy for me to come and talk to you, and probably because it's a regulatory requirement, you'd easily get on board. But now when it comes to the point where you do your claims, then that is where ICA comes in handy. And why is it so? Because ICA, they do proper underwriting, in the sense that whatever premiums they charge you are well thought of, to the extent that when it comes to the time of paying you your claims, we are liquid enough to pay your claims, and in record time. So you'll never hear, if there's anybody here who has an indemnity with ICA and has a problem with his claims, unaweza inua mkono. But I don't think you can get such stories in the corridors, because ICA pays as they promise. So I'll not dwell much on the PI. But for those who need PI, please, you bring it to ICA, because we will keep our promise. The second aspect of insurance is the medical insurance. This I know you interact with a lot, and currently, of course, we know about SHA, and some of the challenges and the good that it brings. And I'll not dwell so much on medical, because unfortunately ICA does not offer medical cover at the moment. So then we move to the third aspect, which is life cover. And allow me to briefly, my colleagues, now I call you colleagues because I've given myself the name doctor, the title doctor. Allow me to briefly tell you about life. We don't insure death, we insure life. For the first point. So life, how do you define life? I can break down the word life into three categories. First, we have the letter L, implying that life is long. Life could be very long. However short it is, depending on whatever experiences you have, life can be very long. But on average, can somebody tell me on average how many days a human being would live in life? On average. Just a guess? Yes.
750,000 hours.
750,000 hours. But I need days, so you can convert. How many days?
That's roughly 3,000. 30,000.
30,000. Yeah, he's very close. I think we need to clap for him. I hope I cram. No, doctors don't cram. Doctors just read and master. So it's around 227, let's say around 27,000. I can also write like doctors sometimes. So we have 27,000 days in life. So meaning life would be long. The second acronym of life is that life has a lot of ifs. Ifs. What if this happens? Right now we're in this room, and there could be questions. Somebody is traveling up country from Nairobi, and there are questions that could emerge. What if this person does not travel safely? What if my brother falls sick? What if? There are a lot of ifs in life. And lastly, life is also full of events. Events that come in life, some are planned, some are not planned. For example, this event was planned. And of course, there's a financial impact to it. You could have a child who is going to school in the near future, maybe 3 years or 4 years' time. Some starting, some graduating to high school. Those are events in your life. And so these events, they require some bit of planning. So financial planning and financial management is one key thing that ICA helps you with. So to just have a plan for yourself, you need to be very consistent, you need to be very disciplined, and you need to be very, very sensitive to detail. And that is why somebody who knows the number of days they can live in this life can easily plan themselves. And I can assure you that out of this comes to around 70 years, right? Out of this 70, we can say from year 1 to year 20, what happens at this stage? Year 1 to 20, we are mostly dependent on others. But how is our dependence? It is mostly dependent on our parents. Then from year 20, so 20 are gone. Year 20 to 40, or let's say to 60, which is another 40 years. These are the years where we are, our age. I'm sure none of us is beyond 60. So at this point, we are very active and we are very, very progressive, and we generate value for our lives. So this is the period in which we need to start looking at how we build our wealth, how we build our legacy. Because beyond this, we enter the final phase, which is year 60. So then we have year 60 to 80. At that point, 20 years from now, unless you are blessed, like some of us are blessed, you might be generating very little at that point. And so the cycle reverses and you rely again on people. But now at this point, when you rely on people, they are not providing to you willingly the way they used to provide for you between year 1 and 20. Because sahi wanakusomea. In fact, huyu daktari alikuwa tu anakula raha. Take my child to school in maybe 8 or 10 years to come, when they finally go to high school. Because I know most of you went to the elite schools. I've seen some of you here who went to schools that were not high schools. And that is why you are not lucky actually, because if you went to a school that was not a high school, then you're definitely not lucky to get an A to go and pursue medicine. It had to come. So it also means that you want to take your child back to the same school or even a better school. But now you're thinking, how will I take my child to school? Those are some of the events that you are anticipating. Equally, we are in a profession that sometimes can be very punishing. Why? Because when we get to the tail end, probably we are working as private practitioners in places where there are no pension schemes or pension plans, or you're operating your own clinic, in which case you do not have a pension plan that is running like those in government. Everybody here has a pension scheme. Some people don't have, right? So then, you still need to start putting aside your pension so that when you reach retirement, this age, you get your money, and that money sustains you for the next 20 years. By the way, have you ever even thought about how much food you can eat with your spouse for 20 years? Food only. Umekaa tu nyumbani, unakula tu. Hakuna labda hata hakuna stima, ni kukula tu. Yeah? Sit down, ujaribu kupiga hesabu how much food you can take with your spouse only for 10 years, ama 20 years. Lakini pia unaweza piga kama unataka kuwa single, pia unaweza jipigia peke yako tu. But for 20 years, you're just in the house, hauendi chama, hauko kwa jumuiya, hujawekwa kwa inaitwa nini? Hujawekwa chairman kwa burial committee, wewe uko tu, nakula tu. And you realize how much you need. So it's not easy for us to get out of employment or active practice and then we sustain ourselves without a cushion. So ICA will provide you with that cushion, and we have products that can help you with this kind of thing. And I can also brag to you a bit that we are the highest pension scheme providers in the country. All these other competitors combined, we are doing over 25% of the entire pension scheme. So it means that we are the place to go because of our financial prudence. You know, when choosing that kind of financial provider, you have to go for a financial provider that will provide proper due diligence for you. And that is why we are the chosen one, by many. Now, I'll take you through the last thing, almost the last. Don't blame me if it doesn't become the last. There's this thing called CPA. I know some of you are CPA holders. So what is CPA? I know it's also related to finance, but in financial terms now, in financial management, what is CPA? Pardon? Certified financial accountant, public accountant. However, I'll teach you a new CPA. CPA is a way of ensuring that you save and you consistently save and build wealth for your future, because what we have currently is what is going to help us in future. If you love yourself, then you have to take care of your future. Okay? Just the same way they say, well, if you love your child, then you take your child to the best schools, meaning you take care of his future. And we have something, a common friend, whom I know each and every one of you has, and that friend is called money. So money has a funny, what do you call this thing? Yes, a behavior. So money has a funny behavior. Money tells you that if you save me now, I will save you in future. If you waste me now, I will equally waste you in future. So money is the only thing that if you save, becomes a friend. If you waste it, you part ways and it also wastes you. So, coming to CPA on how to get discipline, first of all, C, you have to be consistent. So if you have to start a plan to help you sustain yourself for the future, you have to be consistent. Second, you have to get into passive income. So passive income generators, for example, what would you say is a passive income generator? Real estate. Okay, well, real estate is passive but not so much. Because real estate, passive income is the kind of income that is generated even when you are asleep. You have very minimal interaction with the activities that generate you income. You know, for rentals, you have sometimes to go and check with the fundis.
Now you can leave stocks.
For example, bonds, stocks,
For
MMF, money that is somewhere and it is accruing by itself. You don't intervene at all.
index funds.
Yeah, so you need to get into passive income generating activities. Why are we talking about passive? It's because you still have your time to generate the income, the normal income that you're able to generate. So your energy is not dispensed on generating passive income. The last one, which is the A, is automate. So when you get into a plan which is automated, then it ensures that you have discipline. And how is it so? You don't have to intervene every time. For example, if you put a standing order in the bank, and it is known that every end month, on 30th, money will be transferred from your account to a savings plan, then you don't have to intervene at any given time. So what does insurance offer you to help you with this? Insurance, one, it helps you to get tax relief. Tax relief comes in this sense. The premiums that you pay as policy holders are actually exempted from, are given a 15% tax relief. So 15% of that is returned back to you as the taxpayer. So don't you think that is a savings? The second thing, insurance products are never taxed at the end of it all. So if you have a plan in which you are saving consistently, and it is under insurance, the money will be paid back to you as it is. Nothing will be deducted to the government. Mnasema hiyo ingine. itarudi venye iko. If you look at your savings account, you'll realize that there's always a 15% withholding tax, on the money that you earn as interest. It is subjected to a 15% withholding tax. But insurance products are not subjected to that. The third thing is that we cover risk. So our savings products have risk embedded into them. So let me give an example. If I had a savings plan and somebody else starts also an insurance plan for their child with the vision of taking them through high school education, then in 2 months' time, I've saved twice, he has also saved twice. And we get involved in an accident, for example, and probably we lose a limb. How much will we be compensated by the two entities? The bank will give this guy, will give me the amount I had saved. If it was 2,000, they'll give me the 2,000 and tell me, now you can go and play in your wanasema laju, in your mother's veranda, usifatane na sisi tena. Huku kwingine utaambiwa, we are paying you the sum assured. What you had arranged for as the sum assured will be paid back to you. So it gives you a cover. Because it is always better, and I know this is something that you also experience in your daily work. Sometimes a patient is in hospital, is in the bed, not ICU. I know the ICU patients might not be very conscious, but the ones in the ordinary beds. Sometimes somebody is in bed, but is not actually suffering from the physical, the medication that you're giving. Probably he's trying to calculate, when I get back home, how am I going to survive? Pesa imeisha. How am I going to survive? So it's always better to treat a patient who is also financially healthy. Because then it means, even psychologically, they recover quickly. Because if you tell me today that I've lost my thumb, I'm in hospital, but I know that immediately I get out of this hospital and I get a doctor's report, my insurance company is going to pay me 1 million. Compare with somebody who is also in the same hospital ward, but he knows that he leaves this place without a thumb, with a lot of pain, but with no compensation whatsoever. Which of these two would give you easier time? Tuseme ukweli. Which of these two? Huyu mwingine unajua anakaa hapa hata anafikiria wacha nitoke haraka niende ni process claim yangu nipate do. Lakini huyu mwingine anaogopa hata kwenda home. Because anajua kienda home watoto wanamwangalia na hana kitu. So that aspect of risk is also very important. And lastly, you have the peace of mind. That whatever you're going through in life, it is almost a guarantee that you'll be taken care of and you'll be cushioned in case of anything. So you realize that we help you manage life holistically, from the longevity of life, the ifs in life, and the events that occur in your life. And that, in essence, is what helps you to sustain and cushion your life. So we have an array of products that will take you through all that journey in life and ensure that you lead a comfortable life that is well cushioned and ensures that your vision is achieved. Because as we also have our vision, and our mission is very simple. Our mission is to ensure that we create and protect wealth. And that is what we do best. So I would like to stop at that point, and I would like to say that if you need a financial partner who will work with you through this journey to ensure that you are cushioned at point A, B, C, D in your financial journey, then we are here to help you get through that journey without any hiccups. I would now like to welcome questions from the audience. But before that, let me now say why I call myself a doctor at this point. You know, doctors mostly take care of there's mental health, there's physical health. You can define as many sectors of the medical world as possible. But for us, we take care of your financial health. And financial health, I'm sure, is also very important. There are so many people who are sick financially, and believe me, some of them are really suffering. So you agree that mnakubali niitwe daktari? Sawa, asanteni sana. So I welcome questions.
So any questions, or we want to see him on my attempt? We are very...
Yeah, so for further information or any queries you need, you can interact with us. I know I'm conspicuous enough, and my colleagues are equally at the back there. You can interact with them. I know we've circulated some rota in which you need to put your details so that we can contact you in the future and we can have that conversation, because I know financial matters are very, very private. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you to ICLI. They have been our partners quite a few times. So we continue with our program. I want to invite the Secretary, Agri. I want to invite our Secretary to give the Secretary's report, which the report will be closely followed by our Treasurer's report. And then we'll have open discussion. This discussion will be in this manner: one, return to work formula signed between county governments and KMPDU at the national level, followed by county-specific issues, and then we'll come up with resolutions for each county and for the branch as a whole. And also, we would be adopting the list for those who will be attending our ABC in Mombasa, based on our attendance today. And I'm very passionate about it. So I want to invite our Secretary, Dr. Agri, please.
Good evening. Good evening. Well, I'm Dr. Agil Reño. As usual, my reports are always brief, giving us a picture across Nyanza's all 6 counties. So, yeah, to more of figures, probably not do much of explanation. So, here we go. So we'll focus on those thematic 7 areas. One is membership. We cannot talk about existence of the union when we don't also mention about the membership. Number 2, whether we have had any new recruitments, doctors across the counties, and under what terms. Number 3, promotions and designations. 4, study leaves. 5, medical cover for our members. 6, about our salaries and even remittance of the byproducts. And last but not least, any disciplinary issue. So number 1, membership. For the last 6 months, we have you are keen about the last report I gave in Kisii. The membership for Nyanza increased from 82 to 85%. Just you can see out of the 624 eligible members in Nyanza, 536 are paid up members. And as you can see from that table, the county leading in terms of membership is Kisii County. Out of the 185 members, eligible members, 177 are paid up, making it 95.7%. Followed closely by Nyamira, where out of 65 members, 61 are paid up, making it 93. They are followed by, I think, Homa Bay. Homa Bay is one county we had challenges. I know they still owe the union quite a lot of money they deducted, but they never remitted. We are keenly following that. The county we have there with the worst thing, which is not doing well in terms of membership, is Siaya County. You can see they are at 68%. So out of 67, only 46 are paid up. But we are doing something about that. Recruitment and terms. For the last 1 year, we have engaged counties on this matter, and they kept on insisting that we are understaffed. Rather, there's big shortage of doctors across all counties. Most recently, you're aware Kisii advertised for 13 doctors recruitment. We anticipate that before we move to the next financial year, they will have recruited. So they advertised for 10 medical officers, 2 pharmacists, and 1 dentist. Kisumu, I think they have not recruited. I think there's a mix there. But we have I don't know whether I'm clear of that. We have 10 doctors who are still on contract. Siaya County, we have 12. Migori County promised to recruit about 10. We hope before we go to June, July, the advert shall be out. Nyamira also promised to recruit 7 specialists, but we also emphasize that they need to also recruit the junior cadres. But then, Nyamira, we have 5 doctors who are still on contract. We are still following up their case so that they are confirmed to PNP. But the last 1 year, they also confirmed 5 same number to PNP. Homa Bay has not recruited. The last engagement we had as per the return to work formula, they promised to do it in the next financial year. So we are keenly following up the budgeting cycle across all the 6 counties to ensure they do something with regard to that. So for the last, we anticipate that by July, by the start of June, or July, 27 doctors would have been recruited across Nyanza. Promotions and designations. For the last 1 year, Kisii promoted 121 doctors. We anticipate about the remaining 60 or so. They are the same to be done the coming new financial year. That's what we agreed as per the return to work formula we have in Kisii County. Kisumu has not recruited, has not promoted, but we are aware that there were promotion letters, about 28 which were issued. Guys have stagnated for so long, but they are just being moved to one job where they're not supposed to be their counterparts in other counties. So it's an issue we are following up with the help of the national leadership. CIA promoted 44 recently, I think a month or 2 months ago. Migori also promoted 41, also recent, this year. Nyamira, for the last 1 year, has promoted 49. Homa Bay just promoted 1. And the only 2 doctors were designated. But we are keen on Homa Bay and Kisumu, as I've been updating ourselves in our respective WhatsApp forums. Study leaves, the last 1 year, we have managed to have 23 doctors released for postgraduate studies. You can see Kisii is leading by having 11 doctors released for school. Kisumu 4, Siaya 3, Migori 2, Nyamira 2, Homa Bay only 1. Medical insurance cover, you know, here we have challenges across the counties. Kisii, we have fast assurance. Of late, we have not experienced so much complaints. So from where I sit, I assume probably it's working. Kisumu, Madison, also we have not had quite a lot of challenges about it. Siaya, they are promised to have a new cover up and running from start of April. But we all know they are going against the return to work formula we signed. But then we are having a meeting with them this coming week. So we hope to know what's their take, or rather, we anticipate to have the cover up and running by that time. Migori has AAI, Nyamira has Stargold, Homa Bay has no cover. So, but we are keen on those 2 counties which don't have the covers, but it's good to have a cover as much as we know the challenges we find ourselves with them. Salary and byproducts, you know, for the last, also the start of this year, we have witnessed serious delays. Kisii pays anytime, I understand Kisii paid, I think on Friday, salary for last month. Kisumu, we have delays. Siaya, I think still good. Guys are being paid timely. Yeah. Same case for Migori. Nyamira, it's erratic, as Kisii is, and also Homa Bay has started also paying timely. Disciplinary issues across the whole Nyanza, we only have 4. We only don't have we have 111 in each county except for Siaya and Homa Bay. And my report is as simple as that. Thank you. Yeah, you can react to it. Maybe I was allocated 30 minutes. I think I've taken 15.
You can react to the report, and, but we'll have an open session at the end.
Thank you for that wonderful report. I'd like to congratulate you for the kind work that you've done to the branch. Maybe to make it more flowery, you can, on those figures, you can put it as a ratio or as a percentage. For example, if you say like 41 doctors in Nyamira were promoted, out of it might be 41 out of 41. So you have a percentage, it has a high visibility and it will be more beautiful.
You know, in our NAC meeting, Nyanza is being crucified for making flowery presentations. So if you make it more flowery, we will change that. Any more reactions? As the treasurer is.
Okay, thank you so much, SG. As Chair always reminds us to be eternally vigilant. From Migori, I'm aware that for the medical insurance, we were having AR, which has lapsed, I think, last week. And we request the union, as well as the members, to ensure that this is taken up almost immediately.
I remember Corona told me that it's lapsing. I forgot. So yes, we are going to make a follow-up on that.
For Kisumu County, I think it reflects a conference we've been having with Madison. Almost all hospitals do not accept the country.
But for Kisumu County, I'm a bit disheartened that my home county and our host county is very poorly represented. But for Kisumu County, we have presented the paper to the Senate was majorly for Kisumu County and Kiambu County. Those two counties are doing very great injustice to their doctors. And they also have a very huge number of doctors. One, SHA is not remitted on time. That means even that SHA that you're supposed to use when your insurance is not accepted somewhere, or when the nearest hospital is a public hospital, you cannot use it. We actually presented this to the Senate and our Senator, Professor Ojeda, and told him that, Kisumu is not doing well. We are just being fed a very nice picture, but nothing is happening. Madison, next week, on has frozen employment, Kisumu has frozen promotions and conversion of those on contract to P&P. We protested it, did a demand letter, and also did a letter of dispute to the Commission of Labor. So from Tuesday, let me not say Tuesday, but from Tuesday, there was a change of date because the date we were given was Monday, which is a holiday. I'm hoping we will be given a different date, probably on Tuesday. I just want to see if we were sent an email, but if not, in the course of the week, we'll have dispute with Kisumu County. That dispute is either going to, similarly to what we did with Migori, the dispute is going to culminate into an industrial action or a certificate of agreement that gives us timelines on how these things are going to be solved. The advantage of using some of these pathways is that it protects the union, it protects the members, so that when we are reaching that position, we know Kisumu County, and we know Professor Nyang'o because he has been our minister for health before. So by the time we are reaching a point where we have an industrial action, even the government, part of the government is on our side because it is the government that will give us the certificate of disagreement. A certificate of disagreement plus a strike notice. Even if you go to ICC, you are on the wrong. Because the same government sat down with you and the same government has agreed that you guys have disagreed. And therefore, you look for an alternative. Alternative is going to court or the streets. And of course, as unionists, the best answer is usually the streets. And the goodness is that the two of you who are here, the three of you who are here, I have always seen you in the streets. So I'm very sure that when we call Kisumu for protest bi-weekly, like we did in Kisii County, there will be people who will show up. So we just want to get ready. We have met consultants, we have met doctors in private practice. We are still waiting for a bit of funds. Meeting doctors is not easy. We are waiting for a bit of funds to tununue mbuzi hata kama ni mbili. We meet all medical officers, dentists, pharmacists, and residents. Tukuje tujifiche hapa. And we all, if that is what it takes, and say that we will not go back to work. We will be on the streets daily We will close, we will stop local. We will be on the streets daily until Kisumu aseme, okay, you guys, kuja tusikie mnasema. I think that is a promise that we gave in the month of March, and we are on it. So watu wa Kisumu, tushikilie mkono. We are your children. Nataka kuvuka barabara, you will guide us how we cross the road. Any reaction?
Thank you very much, Chair. It's just an observation that I've made. The promotions and the designations that were done in Migori County were not properly done, some of them. I've gotten complaints from members. It's not done as per the schemes of service. There's this document called, it's a beautiful document called schemes of service. And I've noticed no county, the whole of Nyanza, is honoring this document, and they are just treating it like a piece of paper. But it needs to be honored, guys. So I think the schemes of service basically says that after 1 year into entry your group M, you should go to N. Then the subsequent promotions should be after every 3 years. But this is not being honored in Migori County. I had a case of a consultant who was promoted to job group N. Just imagine, a consultant. A consultant should be at job group Q moving forward. So I think the union, what we are requesting Agri, Dr. Agri and Dr. Nyango Ndoga is to write a document to the various public service board and tell them or instruct them to ensure that they honor this document called schemes of service. Just that's the observation of mine. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, what you said is very important, not for a back and forth, but as a union and KMA. But let me speak on the side of the union. We realize what you are saying is true, but also doctors do not know the scheme of service. Doctors do not know the training manual. Doctors do not know there's this MOH manual that tells you your scope of service. These three documents, what we want to do within the next few months is to try and have Kamukunjis, CMEs, Zoom meetings, just to teach people what should happen to them if it is a matter of promotions. Because I know, actually 100% of us interpret our promotions wrongly, and we will see that from our books. I realize that pharmacists are not supposed to spend 3 years in job group N, like medical practitioners and dentists. Pharmacists are supposed to spend 2 years. Things like that. I also realize that from the training manual, if you are training locally, that levy does not apply. If you are training abroad, is when that levy applies. So there are so many things in those documents that we do not know, the counties don't know, and people are using that confusion to do whatever they want. We will spend time tutachambua, tutatengeneza, we'll prepare PowerPoint presentations, we will share with you, you will tell us also what you found out, so that when we are agitating for our rights, everybody knows what is supposed to happen to us. But in the meantime, those that we know should happen, we will push for them to happen. And those members of Migori County whose promotions are erratic, simple. Just forward the complaint. The goodness is pesa ushaeka mfukoni, so tunafuatilia hiyo next. Usiwache iende. Thank you.
Maybe we'll get the lesson ready for the other session ya maswali kuongea. But there was some little increment that was supposed to come. Has any county got it on basic? Not the basic salary, that even the national government has got it.
All civil servant, it was for all civil servant.
Yes.
Now, I know the money you're talking about. That is we can talk behind the terms. It was political, and there was politics that got into it, and that directive was resigned. Yes, it was resigned. Kenya is trying to save money, so you will not. Anyway, I know the nitty-gritties of how that went. People from the county did not benefit from that increment. At the national level, it is easy for them because they do it immediately. So they benefited from it, but I know something is coming with regards to recovery. But tutaongea about your national increment coming. It was announced, but chini ya maji, wakaambiwa hapana, we cannot afford it. So I want Sunday, who is our new treasurer, this is his first financial report. Here we go.
Good evening, colleagues. My name is Evan Sunday. I took over from Dr. Linda from December 2024. It's a pleasure for me to welcome you to this AGM, and I would really like to thank ICA Lion Kisumu for the support and the partnership that they've offered to support this AGM. My main task today will just be to show you how we spent our money, how much money we got in 2024, and how we spent it. Any questions that you might have, or any suggestions, or anything that you might want to ask me in terms of transparency and accountability will come at the end of the presentation. So, the first slide will be on income. Most of the money that we had in 2024, or all of it, came from branch allocations. That is money from the national office, which usually get a third of what we remit to the national office. So that amount came in January, February, March, skipped the 3 months that we had an industrial action in 2024, resumed in July, August, September, October, November, and again skipped December because we also had a national SDC, which in such a month, the allocation is taken whole and nothing is remitted to the branch. So if you are to add all that, the total came to 3,467,644, and that includes also the secretariat salary that you see listed along those months. So where did this money come from? That is the remittances that different counties remit to the national office. So that graph simply shows us the different counties and how much they contributed each of the months that the national office got money and remitted to the branches. So of note is February is where we had the highest total allocation. As you can see, it has a very long graph, and that's mainly due to there was a very high allocation from Kisumu. Kisumu didn't remit for the first 2 months, so remitted a very high amount in February. Of note, also Kisii has been very consistent in contributing very huge amounts. That is the green color, as you can see. Consistently through all the months, they contribute a good amount of money, and that can be reflected also in the number of members that you have seen are registered under Kisii. Something else that of note, as I've mentioned, there are 3 months, that is March, April, and May, when we had an industrial action, and there was the county stopped remitting any allocation to KMPDU, and also in December where we had our STC. Also, we can see there are small but steady contributions from Homa Bay, Siaya, and Nyamira. Of note, as you can see, some of the months, Kisumu is a county that might miss to submit a month or two, then submits the whole remittance in 1 month. You can see they didn't submit in January, in December, they didn't submit in September, but follow up in the preceding month. So from this is what was submitted to the national office. So what came down to the county in the allocation is the biggest part came from Kisii, which gave us around 35.5%, followed by Kisumu, which gave us 31.2%. And these two counties are the ones that dominate the amount of money that they give us because they have the highest number of doctors. Then the least counties are Homa Bay and Siaya. And this is due to the fact that, one, they have the least number of doctors, and two, the counties usually have issues with those counties remitting money to the union. So in 2024, our major expenses were actually meals, meetings and conferences. We had any meeting that we had in terms of Kamkunjis that we provided meals, or the conferences like the AGM that we had, all amounted to around 1,902,105. The allowances actually came very down. We didn't pay much to the BEC in last year. The rest came down to around 640,000. Then administrative expenses, this is what we pay in terms of office expenses, what we pay in terms of legal fees. We have a very big legal fee due to the cases that we have had between Kisumu County, Kisii County. We have a lawyer that presents us that our fees have gone really up, that we try to actually pay them as time goes by. So in the last 1 year, we actually spent almost $1 million trying to pay back those fees, including also the office rent, which I will detail later on. Then financial charges through the years, that's bank charges, amounted to around 6,000. So as I said, the highest expenses are meals, meetings and conferences. So cash and assets position. Our cash and assets position actually went down from last year because we had an increase in deficits or debts that we had as a union in the last year. So it went from 2022 it was around 319,000, went down to 255,000. So this is, I think, what people are mainly keen about. But as I mentioned before, our only source of income was branch allocations that amounted to around 3.4 million. That came down, as you can see, in the year 2023, that was around 6.9 million. But since we didn't have a lot of guys giving us money from other states as sponsors in the last year, that went down to around 3.4 million. There was no carryover or any other income from 2023. Our main expenses, as I mentioned before, are local meetings, and BC allowances went down to around 640,000. That is from the previous year. Then our main expenses, as mentioned, one was rent, and two was office expenses. And as I mentioned, office expenses also include legal fees. That's legal presentation. As per last year, we had a pending legal fee of around 750,000. As per today, as we talk right now, I think we still have around 150,000 to pay the lawyer. Then when we go down, other key points were bank charges were 5,682, and cash at the end of the year was 42,000. That's what we left in the bank. So the auditor's opinion from what I shared in the groups is, in the opinion, the accompanying financial statements given a true and fair reflection of the financial position of the year ended 31st December 2024, in accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standards and Labor Relations Act of 2027. So the budget, I will later on project that. We can continue. So challenges that we have had in the department, one is limiting counties, or some counties just delay in terms of limiting them. Two, we have delayed disbursement from the national office. So in order for us to do our event, we have to wait for the national office to actually give us cash. Three, there's not enough income to meet all the bills or the activities that you have planned for a year. Maybe you have planned Kamkunjis in each county, or Kamkunjis maybe twice in a year in each of the counties. But sometimes you're not able to meet that. And in case of things like strikes and all that, we're not able to meet all the activities that we want to do. Then three, we have a legal fee that keeps on ballooning every time we have a case that we present in court. So we're trying to cut down on us going illegal or going into courts with most of these counties because they have a very big budget in terms of legal fees that they can pay. But for us, every time we go to court, we find these lawyers are very expensive. Another solution that we are trying to sort out in terms of legal fee, we're trying the national office to actually offer support in terms of offering advice in legal matters or support. Areas of improvement that I see that we need to improve as per from this year is membership drive in terms of going into these counties and getting more doctors into the union, and also supporting CLOs to go recruit members in their respective counties. Two, as you can see from what I presented, our only income was from branch allocations. So in the preceding year, we are looking into to get into more sponsorship and collaborations in terms of the activities that we're going to have, which is underway. And suggestions that we've had is one, review of branch allocations, which is still under constitutional review, and also national office support in terms of legal matters. So when you go to the second part of this, it's the annual budget. So this is just a copy of the annual budget for the year 2025. So our projected incomes will still remain if you are to get our branch allocation from the total number of members that we have, each allocating every month with no delays. We anticipate to get and no cuts in terms of allocation, in terms of when there's an event in the national office. We anticipate to get around 6.972 million. And if we are to get sponsors for any event that we're going to have this year, we also anticipate the sponsors might provide an additional 1.2 million, bringing us an income of around 8.1 million. That is what we anticipate. But in terms of branch allocations, from time to time when there is a national event, or when there are delays or conflicts with counties, you'll find that the branch allocations might go down and not reach these figures you've seen in the previous year's book of accounts. So there are various activities that are planned for the year. One of them is the BEC meetings. We're supposed to have 2 branch executive committee meetings in a year, which in total, in terms of accommodation, allowances, road transport, and conference and meals for each, usually accounts to around 242,000. And if you multiply that by 2 meetings in a year, it will account to 484,000. Although, depending on what you get in a year, we usually either switch to either just holding online BEC meetings or only having one BEC meeting in a year. So it depends on the income. That is one of the things that we usually cut on in case the income is not enough. Then 2 NAC meetings. NAC meetings, there are usually 3 people actually attend NAC meetings, and there are usually 2 NAC meetings in a year. The top 3, that's the chair, the treasurer, and the secretary, are usually facilitated to go for those NAC meetings. So there's usually no conferences and meals because those are facilitated by the national office. But in terms of road transport to the area, accommodation, and the meeting allowances, those are usually footed by the branch, usually account to around 90,000 for the 3 members. For 2 meetings, that will be 180,000. Then the other thing that we have in our budget is usually our annual general meeting, which usually just have one, and usually anticipate it to cost around 1.27, although it might be less depending on attendance. So that gives us a total of around 1.3 million. Then CBA meetings usually attended by either around 4 members from each county, that's usually the CLO, the chair, the secretary, the treasurer, or any other member within the county who is interested to attend the CBA meeting. So those are usually facilitated. And when that happens, the facilitation for those 4 meetings usually amounts to around 300,000 for the whole year. Then kamukunjis or welfare meetings. So CLOs usually either when we have either a scenario in a county where we need to meet members and discuss various issues, we usually organize kamukunji meetings. And I'm anticipating in the next 1 year, we should have kamukunjis in almost, at least one kamukunji in almost each of the counties, so that we can get to know each other. Those are some of the things that we want to make sure are more frequent. So kamukunjis will amount to around 844,000. Then membership recruitment drive, that's in terms of meeting, going into the different hospitals, meeting these members, maybe buying them a lunch or two. We need to facilitate the members of the BSC who are actually going to do these activities. That usually amounts to around 180,000. Then workshop and seminars, those are usually very rare, but some of the things that we cut out since our income are not usually as we would want. So all that amounts to around 3.25 million. Add to that, there's usually in terms of branch secretariat, who will pay around 57,800 every month by 12 months, including any fundraisers in terms of funerals or such things that the branch contributes. All that will amount to around 933,600. Then at the end of the contract of the secretariat, usually the secretariat gratuity. So we usually pay a gratuity of around 233,400. Then there is the BEC, professional fees, which we are supposed to pay it monthly, which doesn't happen most of the time, because the branch usually doesn't have enough money allocated to it from the national office. So I think as per now we are around 13-14 months behind in terms of payment of the professional fees of our BC members, because it's something that we don't put as a priority, we put activities more of a priority. So if we were to pay these BC members professional fees on time and every single time, we would have to put aside 220,000 every month, which I'd say it's not possible, but it is still part of what you're supposed to do. So that will be around 2.6. So in terms of media engagements, and every time we have maybe a strike or something out there, we need media, we need to lobby the media, we need to talk to people who are of note in that community so that we can get support from the community, and also advocacy. That usually amounts to around 280,000. And office operations in terms of when the activities that our office holders need to engage in terms of NEC meetings that are farther away, in terms of meetings that maybe meetings that are supposed to be held in Nairobi and the chairman is supposed to go attend them, then we usually put aside some money to facilitate that in terms of air, fare or local travel. That is around 90,000. And also in terms of when a secretary goes for training in Nairobi, when we feel like she has a deficiency in some of the things that we need to know, we usually put aside some money. That is 20,000 for that. And also training for the union officials. Also we put around 260,000 for that. And also membership training activities if possible. This eventually comes to a total expenditure of around 7,978,000, which eventually gives us a surplus of 184,000. But in most cases, as you've seen from the previous budget, we were not even able to get to half what we projected as our income. So, any questions or any suggestions would be welcome at this point.
Thank you so much, Daktari, for such a presentation. We are happy when you break this down because you're always up in hands complaining we don't see where our money goes. But I'm happy for this kind of visualization. At least now we can see, and you guys are doing a good job. From Kisii County, we appreciate. So my question is, IEC, AGM, companies, can we afford like a fun activity, like team building, and end of year party, something fun? This conference setup sometimes is quite boring. Something fun. Can we afford it?
That's a good idea. I would accept, because I think Kampuntis and everything part out of them. As you can see, the AGM is not well attended. In terms of fun activities, I think, I don't know if Dr. Nyanda had. Dr. Nyanda and Dr. Agri were actually organizing a sports event that was supposed to involve all the counties. That we have teams and we come into one county and organize a sports event, which I think I'll follow up. There are things that, I think there are some things there that, yes, we can sacrifice some money. I don't know if you want to go smart, I think 5 booths or something will be enough for us to enjoy a particular senior. Yes. So I think we'll organize that in this year. We see how fun it will be and how participatory it will be. Oh, Dr. Nadu is there. Yeah, so I can let you speak about it.
Thank you, Dr. for asking such a and it's something we've been thinking about, but we have seen us but it's something we have put in informing of the invited people. We have sent some proposals, and also it's something we have sent to the treasurer to take a look at the financial capabilities, and then when it gets back to us, we will now roll it up and distribute to the members. As per now, is on the process. Thank you.
Any questions?
Okay, so I just wanted to talk about you talked about assets contracted in the year 2024. Okay? Compared to 2023 was around 300,000. Then 2024, it contracted to 255. Then you say it was because of these consistent deficits. What are these consistent deficits? And then another one is, why did the branch allocation fall? It was high in 2023, then 2024. Huh? So what was the cause of that big variation?
I'll start with the branch allocations. As I presented in the graph that you saw, there were 4 months that we didn't get anything. And those 4 months was because there were 3 of those months we had an industrial action, and one of them we had a national SDC. So all that would cause the branch allocation to actually fall. Yes. 2, we talked about the constant deficit that we have in the need. So the deficit, when I talk about the deficits, is the cash, the amount of, you compare what you have, what the debt that you have, with the amount of money that you have. So I might have contacted a lawyer in this year to do a case. He charged me 250,000. I was only able to pay him 100,000. So in the end, I have 50,000 to pay him in that year, which I have not paid. So that money, whatever I have, has to reduce. Yes. Any other question?
my might be maybe a suggestion. I'm Dr. Mogondo from GC. Sometimes when people are outside there, they think that the union has a lot of money. But from the look of things, kuna pesa. That's the truth. The picture we have is that the union has a lot of money, people are eating a lot of money here and there. One of the things I think the union is not doing well is communication. I don't know what we need to do. Like this, if you give these budget, I think they're budget projections, right? It's not funds we have already. If this is presented to members early enough, maybe if we have projections for 2026, if we presented within 2025, towards the end of 2025, what we are planning for, what we are budgeting for 2026, and give all those projections. I can tell you, the perception of people outside there is quite different. And facts on the ground is the hakuna pesa. That's the thing. So that people can usually find the need to even contribute from their salaries in scenarios where we have counties withholding the remittances during strikes. Because if you look at, there are like 3 months where the union never received contributions from the counties. But I'm assuming the same contributions went to members' pockets, right? They were not deducted. So how can we, one of the questions I want to pose is, how are we going to improve on member contributions? By improving, I mean, where a member is obliged or feels that it's worth taking even that fee the county has given me, okay, without deducting the pay check-off system. Do we have a way to drive members to a state that they can remit on their own, even when counties have decided not to deduct before payment to members? And one of the ways I'm suggesting is presenting some of these budget projections early enough so that people see hakuna pesa mtu analipwa kwa union. 40,000 to the secretary per month, 30,000 to attend a meeting in Nairobi. If I fuel my car to and back from Nairobi, how much will I spend in fuel? Around 20,000. How much will I spend in a B&B maybe somewhere in Nairobi? Maybe 10,000. So, do I even remain with something to eat? Okay, so there are no funds. That needs to sink into people's minds early enough, not after. We like presenting the budgets after. That this is what we spend, this is how we spend. Let it also be known from the word go, these are the projections, this is what we see. We might not get this, so that people get something we call like biannual reports, like the projections, what has been spent and all that. And then, people are ready to support the union, because without the union, no one will be able to face all these, I don't know how many, 47 employers. It's quite a challenge. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that suggestion. I think the only way we have members feeling like they have to come out of their way to actually better participate in union activities and also contribute is when the union is felt on the ground. And one of the suggestions was actually organizing fun events that doctors will be able to participate in. So if we have better engagements between the leaders of the branch and the guys at the union level, like if you have kamkunjis and those fun events that she's talking about, I think people will be more involved in terms of supporting the union than seeing as only when there's time of crisis. There's a consultant that told me it is not good to hold meetings during times of war. It is best to hold meetings during times of peace. So it is best for us to know each other, engage better when it's time of peace, so that when it comes to times of war, we are ready. Any other questions? Hand over the chair.
Thank you. in our program, we skipped one bit of presentations. We have just one presentation from one of the partners who will spend around So as we wait for confirmation whether we will be having that, I want us to take this opportunity to welcome our SG, who has done everything humanly possible to be here, because I think he was in another AGM during the day, and went to Kakamega to launch a strike. I really hope that you are beginning our Kisumu strike today, but it is the date when Jesus is being buried. So, wacha tuomboleze kwanza. So let us give just 3 claps, 1, 2, 3, to welcome our SG, Dr. Davji Atela, and my contemporary chair from Western, Dr. Makomere. Tutaanza na wewe kwanza, huwezi ongea baada ya SG.
Thank you so much, Chairman Ndoma and the Nyanza branch doctors. It's nice to see you again. I also nashangaa jamaa wangu wako wapi? Kumbe wako hapa. Dr. Renyo, the branch secretary and the branch treasurer, together with the members of Nyanza branch, I would like to greet you all. Good evening. Good evening, doctors. Good evening. Doctors power. Power. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here today again with you. The way Chairman has explained, it's because we met with SG and we have an active strike notice in Kakamega because of the problems that we are all suffering as branches and as counties. It is a shame that these days we have to almost always go on strikes to get promotions, almost always go on strike to even get released for postgrad, for doctors to be released for postgrad. And it is like employment for doctors across the country is stalled. Yet we have a promise from the government that we are supposed to get doctors employed. That was one of the things that we noted. One of the things that we signed as a return to work formula in the national strike, that 2,000 doctors are supposed to be employed within this financial year. But we know very well that it can't come easy under this government of Kasongo. But we are learning the formula because we can see the trajectory that every other time we fight honestly, we end up winning. And that's why it is great for me when I come here and I find doctors gathered. You have sacrificed your time, you come for the AGM to look at what you've had for the past year and to project what you're going to have next in your next financial year. Because we are understanding that this is the only way and this is the only thing that we can hold on to in terms of championing for our rights as a tribe and as a profession. I mean, you can do everything else correctly, but we are realizing doctors are coming back from school as consultants. You are deployed as a consultant, but then on paper, the county is recognizing you as a junior entry-level doctor. So we cannot allow that. And hata ukoe wewe ni the best surgeon, ama unajua kutibu wa mama kama Dr. Ndonga, the county will not understand that. So when it reaches that, we remember that it is the union, the mighty KMPDU, that we have to come back to make sure that our paper is also as correct as our, our job descriptions and our recognitions in the county. So my name is Dr. Joseph Nakomere. I'm the branch chairperson for Western Branch, and we've been there with this G, having followed a long process in Kakamega where the county has totally refused to promote doctors in Kakamega. I know you have colleagues and friends from there. Some have resigned. They are very frustrated. So it is the same thing. It is the same thing in Kakamega, same thing in Vihiga. Every other time we have to come together and fight for our rights. So that is what we are there doing today. And then SG Akademia wanataka tuendelee ndonga na watu wake. And Chairman, thank you so much for welcoming us here today. We are grateful. Thank you members for showing up. And Dr. Ndong actually told me nikimaliza he should invite the SG. So without returning the mic to the Chairman, that I welcome and talk to you.
Comrades, power. Power. Comrades. Comrades, power. Power. When the union's inspiration through the workers' rush around, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet whose force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one. For the union makes us strong. Solidarity, solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Solidarity, solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Viva KMPDU, viva! Viva! Viva KMPDU, viva! Viva! Viva Nyanza, viva! Viva! Viva Nyanza, viva! Viva! Thank you. You know, we are on an Easter holiday, and you see most of you have sacrificed the celebration to be in this engagement today. It's not easy, because it's almost like a Christmas. When we were planning this AGM, for sure, we had no knowledge or prior knowledge. We did not check the calendars and realize this is Easter. But having that it was planned, we could not change. And we really appreciate all those who are here today. And just the way the Bible says, wherever 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am with them. That's what Jesus said when he was living, or when he was preaching. So it means that whenever we have union work or solidarity action, and there are at least more than 2 people that have solidly held their hands and their hearts and their conviction to take action, then we believe that cause is being done. And therefore I want to appreciate all those who took time to be here today, and those who are watching over this on YouTube. I know there have been many challenges in Nyanza branch, just the same way there have been in all other counties across the country. And I remember last year, we were here at Kisumu Public Service Club on 19th of April 2023. There was a strike that time in which doctors were demanding for promotions. It was a joint strike with nurses, with clinical officers, and with all the team. That was in 19th of April 2023. Last year, during the AGM, we were in Kisii, and we were talking with solidarity. It was around October, and we were demanding the government to implement the issues that we had negotiated after the 56-day strike, because all of them were tagged at promises with timelines. Today we are here, looking back what you've done legally in 2 years, but as a union leadership in 4 years. And yes, there have been progress. I know many people always say that days the union used to be very vibrant, the days when things used to be very easy, the days things used to be better. But I keep on saying that anybody who keeps stressing about the good old days is always lying about the current situation. It's always more practical, more prudent to face the issues as they come now, so that you can gain now, than focusing on the past. And that's why it's a continuous action as a union, that we must advocate for our issues, we must fight for the justice, and we must ensure that those things are implemented. Last year we went on strike, we got a return to work formula. And one thing that came out clearly is government was out to bastardize the CBA that was signed in 2017. And they were out to reduce the wages of intern doctors. But because of the solidarity action of doctors across the country, not only interns, all the doctors, consultants, everybody, we won this war. And the current lot of interns that are working in the hospitals, including the ones in Jaramogi, are being paid the full CBA rates. The rate that interns are being paid, the rate that doctors are being paid is not decent wages. Because I've compared in Africa, for example, if you go to South Africa, the interns are earning 400,000. If you go to Botswana, they're earning 350,000. If you go to Namibia, they're earning almost 380,000. And therefore, when government wants to reduce ours to 70,000, it dictates what they will pay us. So yes, that's the war we won. And I believe even now in our discussion with the new minister and the new PSS and the new government, is that we cannot negotiate salary reduction. And we cannot negotiate for only a particular lot of doctors. When you're negotiating wages, we negotiate for interns, for the doctors and for the consultants all at once, giving a consideration of the consumer price index and the inflation. Ideally, we last got salary increase or changes in 2016. So our discussion should be how much more should we be adding? And that's what we'll have. And that's the war we'll have once the CBA is implemented. So that's on the interns, and I can say that even the current lot that they're saying that we're going to post in July, 1st of July, we have categorically said we can negotiate the wages. They have to be paid the right wages. We also know that we had a CBA 2017, 2020, 2021 that gave us salary increments. I believe that could not be implemented. But again, we did not go to beg government, and we went into action and told them, you owe us 3.518 billion. You need to pay this money and you need to implement this on the pay slips. And at the time of calling off the strike, the government agreed that they'll pay the arrears in 2 batches. The first batch in the financial year 2024-2025 that we are in, and the next batch in 2025-2026. I believe almost all doctors, around 80% in the counties, have got this money. I also want to say those 1,000 who did not get it, or who left service, or those who retired, are going to get this money next week. And I keep saying next week wherever I go, because I say the same in Central. But this time we've confirmed, because the issues was between the COG and the ministry, and some data were not available that time. But this time around, they're going to be paid. We've also agreed with government, and they have promised, we have to hold them to their promise, that the 50% that was not paid is going to be paid in July, August this year. We also have a meeting with the Council of Governors scheduled for 23rd of this month. They copied us a letter that they written to Treasury and to the Ministry, indicating that they need 1.75 billion in order for all the 47 counties
to implement the CBA in the pay slips. So yes, we are expecting that also to be done in July, August this year. There's also an arrears that we are expecting the year of 2024, July to 2025, July, that ought to be paid by counties, again 1.75 billion. So in July this year, we expect doctors to get three different monies. The money in the base, the arrears for the 50% that was not paid through the ministry, and the arrears that is to be paid by the counties. And I can tell you, it looks easy, but it will call for our collective action to see to it that every doctor enjoys that money. There's no dignity when you have no economic freedom. The doctors in the ministry were not paid their arrears, but our engagement last week with the ministry, for the doctors working in the Department of Public Health, they're going to have that money in their pay slips this month. And the money varies, that those doctors are getting 5,000, and you have seen doctors getting 4.5 million. For the Ministry of Health, they're going to pay their arrears all at once. So that also has come through the collective action of doctors across the entire country. That tells you what we can do. I also want to say, I know many are affected with the issue of postgraduate training. At the ministry stopped paying fees for doctors in 2020. There were no budgets anymore. In 2021 there was no budget, 2022 there was no budget, 2023 there was no budget. After our 56 days strike, the Treasury released 200 million as an emergency fund to pay fees last year. That's what paid for the lot that has been there from 2020. Again, in the financial year 2024-2025, they had a budget of 400 million, of which this year they paid for 77 doctors. Last week in the meeting, the government indicated that any doctor who has provided all the documents of release to school, include bonding, their fees will be paid because that money is there. So yes, as a union, as a team, we have fought and gotten the money to be in the budget. Now it's called for all the individual doctors who have postgraduate studies to ensure that their documents are in line, because the fee will be paid. We also have to look at it that before our strike, we have been struggling with Kenyatta National Hospital, we were struggling with KMPDU, we were struggling with MTRH because they don't have CBAs. Their CBA for MTRH was not registered. Out of this strike, we signed and registered MTRH CBA, of which doctors there were confirmed from contracts to PNP. We have registered CBA with Kenyatta National Hospital, where doctors who are earning 80,000 Kenya shillings monthly are now earning 300,000. We are also signing a CBA with KMPDU. KMPDU has been employing consultants, medical officers, pharmacists, and dentists on contracts. There are those who had 5 years contract, those who had 3 years contract, there are those who had 6 years contract. When you are on contract, it means that you have no career progression. It means that you can't go to school. It means sometimes that even pension is not there for you. You have no job security. But with this new CBA, all the doctors in KMPDU, just because of the national strike that we had, are going to be on PNP. That is the same spirit that we also demanded for the medical insurance. We all know that in 2023, the union came out very strongly to repudiate the health bills, when there were still bills. We said that the Social Health Authority, the bill, Section 5 removes comprehensive medical insurance, that the civil servant will not be able to access the care that themselves are giving. We fought in courts, we won, but then we didn't win in the implementation. It is after the strike last year that government changed their stand and agreed that the civil servant comprehensive cover that was there in NHIF to be embedded in SHA. Yes, that resulted in the formation of public health or public officers fund, medical fund, which means that all the civil servants that were seconded, like doctors who were employed from 2014 and above, have the comprehensive cover under SHA. We know that there has been a problem because SHA has not been paying debt to the hospitals, but that cover is there. So we actually expect that there should be remittances by counties on time. There should be remittances by the ministry on time so that we can enjoy these services. But SHA worked its system such that by 9th of every month, if the county has not remitted the money, then you can access services. This resulted into so many doctors, so many civil servants being started in the hospitals. We met with the Deputy President on the 18th of March to discuss this matter, and also met with the new CS. Now, the agreement is in the next 2 weeks, all the civil servants will be exempted from the 9th date of month. That's the agreement we have, so that they can access care. Because it is the issue of the treasury, it's not the issue of the counties. We've also noted that some counties, yes, we had agreed that counties will have medical insurance by a particular date, but we have noted in the union that counties like Ombe still don't have medical insurance for those who are employed from 2014 onwards. We have noted that county like Kisumu in our NEC meeting yesterday, as Madison, that is not accepted in many of the hospitals. So, we are calling on the leadership of the branch and on the membership that we have to ensure that the counties, Ombe County, Funyanza, and Kisumu County provide cover that gives doctors value, that you're able to go to the hospital and get the care that you need. This also goes down in the issue of promotion. We agreed, and this was adopted in court as a court order, that all the counties in this country will promote doctors by 9th of September 2024. That is the agreement we have in the return to work formula. Yes, the Ministry of Health promoted all the staff, 1,000 of them, and about 450 doctors. Some counties have done the promotions, some have not done. And that's why we had strikes in counties like Nairobi, we have strikes in counties like Kakamega, we had strike in Kilifi for this to be done. There's an ongoing strike now in Marsabit. And in the same spirit, we have issued a letter of dispute against Kisumu County because of the promotions. Would you believe these two issues, promotion and medical insurance, are things that we cannot beg about? So yes, we expect that as the strike in Kakamega proceeds, in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we'll be having a strike in Kisumu over those two matters. Because there's no way the counties will tell you promotions will come if we don't fight. In all the endeavors that we do as a union, we have to fight. It is the fight, it is the skills that we withhold that makes the county prioritize our issues. So that is what we're going to do for Kisumu. That's what we're doing for Kakamega. That's probably what we'll do for Ombe, because sometimes there are things that we can solve nationally when we take national action, but there are things that require local solutions when we hold the counties accountable for them. We also know that there are some precedences that are being set where counties just wake up and decide to stop salaries for doctors, or politically do this. We have a doctor in Migori that this has happened, where county maliciously stopped her wages. We also have a case like that in Kisi. But we are happy in the Kisi case, the doctor won in court, and I think it's to be awarded. That tells you the joint actions we have in the union. I think he won about 8 million. This, in essence, are to make sure that counties are not just joyriding in removing you from pay slips. The same happened in Kiambu, where the judgment again is coming on 25th. So yes, before we came to the union, or before our term started, union was able to solve collective problems for doctors. but we are not very much focused on individual problems. But as we speak today, we deal with individual problems just as much as we deal with collective issues. So we want to ask all the doctors that you have local leaders, the county liaisons, you have the branch secretaries, you have the branch chairmen, you have the deputies, you have the branch treasurers, you have the secretariats. You should not die alone. When you have a problem, you need to communicate it to your colleagues, you need to communicate it to the leadership of the union. Because it will not just be any other thing, it will be handled seriously. And the seriousness that it deserves. Doctors, these AGMs are key because they form part of the engagement that we need. We are going to our annual delegate conference. I have told you what we gained by our actions last year. I know most of us had given up hope when we called off the strike. I know most of us did not believe that any other action in December last year will give a solution. But it calls for our conviction that the government gives into our demands. As we go to the annual delegate conference on 9th to 11th of May 2025, we want to have a joint action over the issues that are still pending. We want to see that the government honors the agreements that we had signed, that all these arrears are paid, that promotions are done, and we will be very keen to ensure that there's no county that is left behind in our decisions in ADC, that there are no issues that are left unturned. We also discussed in that strike notice, in the return to work formula, the government was to employ 2,000 doctors this year, and then thereafter employ doctors annually. It's something that we cannot take lightly. That's why these AGMs are going to engage on matters that then form the basis of our ADC. The resolutions we make from ADC, we have to implement. That's why we're proceeding on strike in December last year. And that's why we cannot say we may not go on strike this year. Yes, it may look all rosy, it may look all easy, it may look all good, but it is never better unless it is done. We must also prepare that we need to get a new CBA. We will only go for new CBA once the CBA that we had from 2017 to 2021 is fully honored. Because then that will give us the baseline of the new wages. It will give us the baseline of the new demands that we need to dignify us as doctors. So yes, we may have achieved a lot, but there's a lot more to be achieved. And I must also insist and say that our actions are not only limited to the issues of the employee-employer. You remember that when the University of Nairobi tried to increase the fees threefold, the union actually stopped them. And therefore the thoughts and plans of Moi University, the thoughts and plans of Egerton, the thoughts and plans of Maseno stopped because they knew if they tried to increase wages or to increase fees for the medical courses, we will come for them. That's the protection we need. And we can only have that when we unite as leaders, when we unite as members, when we know that the enemy is the government, is the employer who wants to take everything from us. Thank you, doctors.
Thank you very much. You know, I have had the privilege of working very closely with the SG. And I'll tell you this for free. I told we were in Kisii from Monday to Wednesday, talking to KMA about leadership. There's a statement I will make continuously. Leaders solve problems of their times. You will not expect a contemporary leader like Donald Trump to solve the problem of agriculture, for example, because he is dealing with the problem of immigration. You will not expect President Ruto to deal with the problem of neocolonialism. his problem, I don't want to mention his problem because he's actually solving it. Just look at his face. So, if you don't know which problem it is, look at the face. So, working with WG energizes you. I remember during the strike, 2024 strike, we used to sit in his office from morning, and one of us would volunteer and buy us ugali. Somebody said they will think the union has, but somebody used to volunteer and buy ugali, mboga, or kachumbari, and some nyama to keep you awake during the day. And during the night, we would hold meetings until 4 a.m. And there was a time when there was a lot of pressure from everyone. Doctors are calling you. The very same doctors who are disappointed the strike was called off were the ones calling us before when the strike was on. That, hey, doc, can we find a way of an easy landing? But then, when you are in leadership, everybody has a suggestion, everybody has an opinion, everybody has an idea. But the problem with leadership is at the end of the day, as much as, yes, the buck ends with you, also the responsibility ends with you. If the strike ends, it is you will look at. Even me who told you, Ruka kwa hiyo barabara, when you get knocked by a car, I'll be one of the people telling you, kwani hauna macho? Au kuona hiyo gari likuja? But he stood firm for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. 3 straight weeks, Monday to Monday, because we used to meet even during the weekends. We used to meet even on Sunday. Asubuhi umechukua Uber, you're going to the office, people are going to church. Us guys are in the office. And every day, the most consistent thing in that office is how do we make sure doctors get something out of it? It was not a joke. You people actually have leaders who really have their benefit in their hearts, and we have to be thankful. Nowadays, I am a very religious person. We have to be thankful to God for that. Yes, I have seen the light. Don't laugh. I am very serious. I have seen the light. Amen. So I want to invite Sandy. I want to invite another team. This team is between you and Dina. So I want to invite the team from KCB to spend a few minutes and tell us something. Yes.
I'm Dr. Yugi of the Silo, Kisi County, and I had a question regarding SHA. I noticed the comprehensive SHA is only covering those doctors who are devolved. I don't know if this is going to change SG. All of us are going to be covered.
This question is not to be answered immediately, but SG, somebody asked the arrears that were paid. Let me whisper. The arrears that were paid. How is the array? Thank you. So,
thank you. On the arrears that were paid, if you had access to the KMPDU app, you realize that 30% was deducted for KRA. So KRA actually took their duties to write it in the arrear that were paid. So, yeah.
So when we are declaring, when we are what is it called? Filing our tax, how do we account for it?
But how is the money? When was your pay slip?
Yeah, it is not the
It came directly. So, but in case there's a concern, you can actually trace it back. If there's anybody that is, it comes in and then they try there's a query on it, then you can just reach the branch leadership and reach the treasury directly.
Okay, thank you. So now we can shout.
Thank you. All protocols observed. Doctors in the house, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Jam. So before I say my name and maybe get to share with you something, let me give my colleague here to introduce himself.
Hi, good evening, doctors. Go fine. Okay, my name is Vincent Odiera. It's a great opportunity that I find myself here. I believe that we'll use our limited time as much as possible so that we can be able to share a bit of the things that we have for you. Thank you so much, and your blessed day.
Thank you. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I am very excited to be here. I won't take much time. Let me introduce myself. My name is Jacob Ouma. I work in KCB Bank. I sit in Kisumu main branch. My work, my role is sales manager. I do sales for the bank, looking at all supporting branches within Kisumu and over the counties. So we are happy as a bank to be part of you. As you know that KMPDU, both at branch levels and national level, bank is very strategic in partnering with you, both as an institution, union, in even the facilities where you are maybe stationed, and also as an individual for personal products. And you realize that even some of you, almost all of you, also maybe have their private health facilities. So bank looks at it 360 degrees and tends to partner with you in all those hemispheres so that, all of us can benefit. So today, again, I'm excited. I've seen some people who have always been seen on TV, Atena. Yeah? I am happy to see you, Doc. Just see you on TV speaking big English. Try to make things good for the team. Huh? That is good work. Even me, I remember when I was in university, I used to be a student leader. And a student leader is always right, as supported by the students themselves. The spirit of comradeship is a very strong spirit that cannot be broken. Viva! Viva! I know it. Thank you. That Viva spirit, I know it. I remember I could call a shot in the old university, and everybody will listen to me. And that is the position that our leader here, Daktari, is doing a fantastic job. So, in a nutshell, having said the partnership that the bank has with you each and every day, I want to also encourage you to speak to 3 items. Number 1, I want to speak to you as an individual. Other than the union, you go home as an individual and you look at your issues as an individual. So KCB is still strategic in customizing products that are very key to each and every medic, especially you who are, our doctors who also play a very vital role in the society. Because when we are sick, we come to you so that you sort out problems. So the bank is still very, very much keen on making the services, the loan services that we offer to you, the check-off loans. That is now we speak from the payslip. So KCB is the bank that has a convenient package when it comes to check-off loans that we give to you. There are those who are not in private facilities. there is also a proposition that KCB has in that private facility that you have. So this is just a clarion call to really call upon you and request you that bank extends, because most of you are in different counties. We have extended most counties to the maximum, so that you can either take check-off loan for up to 120 months. That one sounds like a mortgage, right? So you become a mortgage? Yes. We have extended it to 120. Migori, 120. You go to Siaya, 120. Yeah? Kisumu and Kisumu and Homa Bay and Kisii and Nyamira, they are following suit. So you can access your personal facility up to that extent. That means that you can just use one stone to kill many birds. And in addition to that, bank tailor-made a particular product that is very important. And listen to this. We have a new product in the market. I know some of you might have seen it. And this thing was brought to attention of the customers because of the various customer needs that are there. You know, you as medics, sometimes you travel even beyond the borders, even overseas or abroad. Even if you don't travel abroad, there is a card specific to you guys. We call it a KCB multi-currency prepaid card. This multi-currency prepaid card is a card that bank gives you that is able to accommodate 11 currencies, 11 various currencies in one card. So you can load that card in USD, Great Britain pound, Canadian dollars, South African rand, Tanzania, in Kenyan shillings, you can do it sterling pound. So it means that if you wanted to travel to, let's say, Europe, and you need pounds, or you maybe are going somewhere you need USD, you don't need to go through a lot of conversions and exchange rates and all that. You simply load your card here in Kenya, and you can swipe it anywhere across the globe. Unasikia hiyo ama msikii? Well, I'm listening to you. Listening to you. Munasikia, have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard that? That is. So this is something that is ready and available in the bank any day. So if you walk into the bank, if you are that kind of person who travels, or where you are, because in some hotels where you go, when it comes to accommodation, you will realize that they even have machines, the PDQs that you can pay in USD. So you don't need to have that hassle of doing this to convert. Just load your card in the currency that you are expecting, then you can swipe it there. So this is a card that you come to the bank, we apply, it is prepaid, it is load and use prepaid. That is something that I had to mention to our medics, to you, especially when I tell you, you want to go to South Africa, maybe go and do a case study of what are to give. Maybe doctors union doing there to bring issues here that are good. You need that card. You just take that card, you just load that South African branch, you go down there, you have to just swipe. You see? So that is the perspective in which bank is trying to look at your responsibilities, your day-to-day work, and the convenience that comes with the product that we offer. Because currently, these products are in all banks, but the distinctive factor is we offer that convenience that is a little bit above board, so that you find the sense of taking it from KCB. Now, maybe the second last thing, because I don't want to take much time. Someone said that I'm standing between you and what? And you know, food is very emotive. I know, even if someone stand between me and the lion, there's a problem. Exactly. So, what I also trying to mention here is that we also have affordable housing, which is also a service and a product that is offered by KCB at 9.5%. These affordable housing and mortgage services that we have. this is also a service that is available and you can easily afford. And also in addition to that, you as private practitioners, you may realize that maybe you are practicing in Jotiaraj, like I've seen my friend there, and then maybe you also have your private clinic somewhere. So what are we saying? You are now in another setup, which we call MSME. So we are encouraging you that bring that hospital, we open for it an account in the bank, right? And now you can be able to benefit from this account of your hospital, now classified as a business account. So other than your normal good big payslip that we know, the payslip are big, isn't it? Mbona hapo kila mtu amenyamaza? Si payslip zetu zinakuwa kubwa. Yeah, thank you, and we thank God for that. But in addition to that, that hospital, kindly bring it to KCB. Let us have it where we give you the details so that you can be able to channel your funds there, and then you can be able to get a loan to finance even equipment. There's also like X-ray, those CT scans, MRI, and all that. That you can be able to easily, those maybe equipment that you may not be able to just cash purchase at a go. So the moment you are able to have that account working well, the proceeds are going in, that one alone will bank will be able to partner with you in such a way that we can purchase for you those equipments, medical equipments, so that you can be able to use and then that partnership depends and continues. So in short, we have 360 degrees services that are applicable to all of you, that are relevant to all of you. And I want to share here my phone number, because we also request that in that hospital you have also created employment for other people. And I know that. Some people have hospital where they maybe have 20 and nurses there, CEOs who are there. Yeah? So we call upon you and we ask you that we are asking you to partner so that we can offer salary solutions to those employees, so that if they have their private issues, we just sort them as a bank. They don't need to come to you as their employer to maybe seek for support. You see? So that is the direction that as KCB we are going, because we want to really transform people's lives today. And again, as our purpose says, for people for better. So we have to make the people better in our society, because for the moment you are good and you are okay, then our business as KCB can always continue. But the moment you are not good, you see, then again every other thing, there's a breakdown in that channel, in that engagement. So I have to stop at that point. I don't want to take the whole night because I'm standing in between that thing that we have said. And maybe after that, some people also want to go and visit town in one way or the other. So I don't want to stand between those things, those two things. So thank you so much. So as I finish, I want to, as a bank, we just don't come to talk, because we always believe that the partnership, we have to for it to be original and intrinsic, we have to just add value to it. So as KCB, we received the request from this organization, and we request that we had set aside some little support to the union, the Nyanza chapter, just in case to help some maybe sort out one or two. So I don't know who to present to. Maybe I can present it to. This is a banker's check addressed to KMPDU, our union, and it's a check so let me hand it over to who? Nani anapokea hudi kula?
Nafaa kuwa mweka hazina.
Mweka?
Mimi sikuwa nimekuja kuchukua wewe.
Mweka hazina ni secretary. Oh. I knew it, you know. So mweka hazina? Oh, thank you so much. And this gentleman, I know him. And he didn't know that I know him. Thank you so much. So let me present this bank of 30,000 as a support of KCB to KMPDU Nyanza chapter. Thank you.
Ile dami. Ile dami unajua si check. Yes. Oh, and another. Oh, kama hiyo safi. Ile safi. Piga picha ingine, piga picha.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Do I share my number?
Yes, let me share my number for further engagement. My name is Jacob Ouma, 0729 649 655. So thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you. Now that you know they were standing between dinner because it looks like they were paying for it. Anyway, yes, Dr. Ben.
Yes.
Ben is also standing between you and dinner, but yes.
Hakuna cha dinner leo. Nilikuja 3:30 sharp ndio niulize hizi. So tuvumiliane tu. Thank you so much, Chair. Thank you, SG. Watu wanasema SG ni mzuri. We were with him in a meeting once in Manzoni after that big strike. And then he was teaching us how to open beer bottles with his ring. I lost my ring, I think he still has this. And one of the things we learned there that doctors are good, they are bright, but they are very impatient. That is why you see even when you have meetings at home, they don't come. Personally, I've even forged registration certificates to have doctors promoted. And by then they did not even have an allowance for the county membership. And then the doctors got promoted. And then at that time we pushed and we had 5 job press in Homa Bay. 1 has retired, 4 are still working. But currently the governors have become pakanapanya. Today they tell you this, tomorrow they change to that. And then most of us sit down, lose enthusiasm, you call a meeting, they don't show up anymore. But still, we are a good number. If 1 can chase 100, 2 can chase more than 100. One ISG, this areas thing. I've been employed with Dr. here. Same year, promoted, same time, right to the same job. He gets 2 million, I get 200,000. And then, now that the basic will be taken as what in July, does it mean I will remain that way or that will improve? Because this one will it also be rectified. Ama hiyo itenda tu na maji na manaiyo. Thank you.
Before SG answers, that question, I want us to take a critical number, maybe like 3 or 4 other questions, so that he does, the whole. Yes.
Yes, thank you, SG. Dr.
Just to be sure, yes, we have our online community also that will be listening. By the way, what Dr. Ben has said is true. And for you, for us, it is shown by the arrears. In fact, SG here, I remember he was angry at us in the NEC group chairman. Why can't you guys collect a sample of 50 payslips from your members and bring them to national so that we use them to calculate this arrears? Take 50 payslips, 1 from an MO, 1 from a pharmacist, 1 from a dentist, another few from consultants, sample, so that we use it to calculate arrears. Let me tell you, after 3 months, we only had 3 payslips from every branch After 3 months, we only had three payslips from every branch. And we had to use crooked ways, he will tell you, behind the tent, to make sure that we get payslips from all doctors. And one of these fine days, before I received Jesus Christ as my personal Savior, I told one of our members, can you download all your payslips from 2017 to 2024 and then send me, highlighting the discrepancies? You know what he told me? You have wasted my time and my money to download payslips. I told him, but those are your payslips. I cannot download your payslips for you. How else can I access your payslip if you don't send them to me? And luckily for me, they blocked me. But you see, I am not the one who initiated the conversation. So let us be patient. But also let us be ready to fight when we are told that now we engage. And that's why I like Migori County and Kisii County and Homa Bay County and Siaya County and Kisumu County. Because during the national strike, it was only Kisumu and Kisii that had protests. It was only Kisumu and Kisii that had protests. Live protests. By the way, we only had protests in Eldoret, Kisumu, Kisii, and Nairobi. So hii areas, ukiona mtu ana brag na areas, mwambie wewe ulienda maandamano. Sababu Kisumu na Kisii tulienda maandamano. Na Nairobi na Eldoret. Na nataka turudishe maandamano Kisumu. In the next 2 weeks, we are whispering here. In the next 2 weeks, tuko na maandamano Kisumu. Naona tuko madaktari kidogo, but wako online. Tuko na maandamano. Tutakimbizana tu hapa town. I told you there are 3 things that will happen. Mtakuwa mnakimbizwa na polisi, ama mnakimbiza polisi. We are not clean. This is a profession. Useme at you, because I see patients, I will not fight for what is rightfully mine. Sisi tumeonekana kwa TV, tukibeba matawi, tumeinua mikono, tumekaa kwa barabara, we still get patients. Because they know if you stand for the right thing, yes, because they know if you are standing for the right thing, then you will stand for the right thing at that time when you're seeing them. But if you want to hide, wacha Onyango waende kwa streets na students wanasema tutapata arrears. Oh, it will not come. SD, you have very 2 simple questions.
Ben, how are you? What is Jokuli? Oh, and Jokuli? Yes. Now, the truth is that as Don has well expressed it, many of the doctors did not know how much they are owed. Up to the time we are saying you're owed BRS, nobody knew. The government also did not know how much you're owed. So yes, we had a severe implement, but doctors didn't know how much they owed, and the government don't know how much you are owed. So in 2023, we went with a multi-agency team to unravel this data with the Treasury, with SRC, with the Union. When they came out, they only said they owe us 1 billion. So we rejected that. The Union then hired an HR team to go through the payslip of each doctor, which was done. It took almost 6 months. Once that was done, for each doctor, we had them convergent with COG and gone through the same data with their team and DPSN. They confirmed everything. We then said, no, we don't want this thing just to be paid. We developed KMPDU app last year, I think around September. September last year. And then asked doctors to then get down to their payslip, because you are custodian of your payslip, and verify each of these claims that we had. Because we knew that was giving us a window to correct some of these data. Now those who actually got higher than what they were expecting, and it will be left. And those actually got law and were corrected, but those who did not communicate. So that brought the problem. Now, at the time of payment that was done, it means the tax has been deducted and the money has been paid 50% of it. So the 3.518 billion, which now we have as calculated, individuals based on that amount that are owed, and the same amount you get, probably going to get the batch in the next one. But the money that is to be paid now, that's now the different aspect. That's why now we're going to do correction. Because with that, the COG and the KMPDU have gone back to the data and looked, okay, this doctor in this job group P, what's the difference? Like 45,000. Job group R is not so much. Job group S, it's about 100,000, the difference. Job group L and M, it's about 25,000. They have got different, about 25,000. So we've seen that through. There was MN and R is not so much difference, but P has a big difference, S has the biggest difference. So the amount that is to be put on the payslip for doctors is also 1.75 billion. Because this one we were generous with it. We were like, we can't compromise. With the arrears, we at least negotiated. In case of claiming more than 5 billion that is not paid, we went lenient. But now what will be affected in the payslip is exact amount for everybody. And you'll get the news that time. The doctor was asking about July, August. The first arrears you're going to get is the 50% of the balance that was paid. And that will be paid directly from Treasury and Ministry. And we saw it in the budget. The next arrear you're going to get is the arrear of July 2024 to June 2025. That arrear is also 1.75 billion. It's to be paid by the counties. We also saw it in the budget. The next payment you need to get is the revised rate that need to be in your payslip, effective this year, so that the rest of accumulating. Because what was paid was 2017 to 2024. So there's 1 year, 2024, 2025. In our meeting this coming week or 23rd with COG, they just give us an outline on how they're going to implement it. Because on 19th of December 2024, COG, the Deputy President and Treasury asked us to give them 1 year period so that in this budget they can factor all those payments. So that's what we need to expect. They have to pay it because it's a debt, there's a court onto it, and also we have to be there to take action if it's not paid. So that's
So without further ado, I want to welcome us for dinner. It is not fancy. It is those Western dinners which you are served, you know, those a leaf of and some mayonnaise. So do not, I hope you did not take peg leg. I hope you did not take peg leg, but unless you go for several rounds. So it is a modest dinner that KMPDU Nyanza wanted to just keep you awake as you listen to SG and our next plan of action. And at this juncture, we want us to pray for dinner, and then we can mingle. By mingling, what I mean is exchange ideas. And also telephone numbers, but only for consultation. So let us pray. Heavenly Father, for the meal before us. We thank you, Lord, for the roof above us. We thank you, Lord, for the discussions we've had today, Lord. We thank you. And we hope that the welfare of the Kenyan daughter, your servant whom you've sent to take care of your patients, will be well taken care of. Amen. Or we can take a group photo first, because I know some of you, once you are satisfied, you will disappear. Let's take a group photograph.
Sasa ni wapange. This thing.